Hi guys and welcome to the gameplay update 6.87 for Dota 2, and we have joining me on the analysis is Harpy or Rune from Tekade, as well as Mirzab or Paradox from Tekade as well, and myself Terra from Infinity Gaming. Hi Harpy, hi Mirzab.
What's up?
Hi. So big update compared to smaller than the last one, but still a pretty big update. We have a lot of map changes, item changes, as well as new items coming in. No new heroes sadly, but a lot of hero changes as well. And I think it affects a lot for the competitive side of it. So we'll go from starting from general, we'll move on down to items and then heroes. So taking the first point, we have let's see, Reworked ranked all pick. Before picking phase begins, there is a 15-second voting phase to ban heroes. Each player votes for different heroes. Afterwards, half of the heroes that were voted on will randomly be selected and banned. So it's pretty good when the meta kind of gets stabilized, and then you have like these OP heroes coming out. So I think it's pretty good for that during ranked matches. Other than that, what other use do you think there is?
I mean, it's going to stop people from, towards the end of a patch, people are just always going to whine about the OP heroes. It's gonna mitigate that somewhat, and it'll also break the monotony, right? You won't be playing against the same hero all the time. At least now, 50% of the time, you're most likely going to get the hero you don't want to play against banned.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. But people have suggested making the banning phase longer, because like 15 seconds is too short, I think, for everyone who was like, just getting into the game, ban.
Wait, hold on. It's 15 seconds for all 10 players.
Yeah, it's 15 seconds for all 10 players.
Oh wow. I thought
so sometimes you have like 5 people banning, or like 6 people banning, and like only 3 heroes or 2 heroes get banned. So I think if they increase the time, I think yeah, it'll be better. But it's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, other than that, nothing major in that as well. So second, we have each team has now has a scan ability available on the user interface. Scans a target of 900 AoE for 8 seconds. Indicates that there are enemy heroes in that area during the 8 seconds. Starts on cooldown and has a global team-wide cooldown of 4.5 minutes. Does not consider units inside Roshan pit, but does consider smoked units. But does not show enemy heroes that you have used it. So this is pretty good, right? In competitive games, when you don't see enemy heroes on the map and when you're farming the jungle alone or something like that, I think it's pretty epic to have this still.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good to be used on your side of the map, because like anything on the other side of the map, most of the time is gonna be like you can't be sure of what's going on. But if you scan enemy heroes on your side of the map, like it could, mean something's going on.
It's pretty much a game changer there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, when I first read it, I didn't like it. It could just be because I think it's like too big a change that I just don't like it. But I feel that it takes away from heroes that specialize in, getting map information. Like, Zeus or Nightstalker or even PA with the passive blur thingy.
Yeah, but this is like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah,
it doesn't really tell you exactly what's going on, right?
It just tells people that there is a hero there.
Yeah. And I just want to tell people, please stop using it on the Roshan pit. It does not work. It doesn't matter if you use on the Roshan pit. It'll always show you that enemies are not there. I think people need to know that, because everyone's just like scanning the Roshan pit.
So apparently that small icon to activate it has been there all along from the previous, from the time that Dota 2 started. So y'all might have been planning on having this for a long time and just got around to it. Yeah, that icon has been apparently there according to RL, who is
it's been there all
posting stuff. Yeah. So I'll be like going over like small stuff. Harpy, just stop me if you think anything else is important. Starting XP increase from 180 to 200, pretty good for supports, I guess, who are pretty squishy during the early stages. Then HP per strength increase from 19 to 20. These are very, I think, hero-specific buffs. And
it's because of like something that happens later on, like with heroes scaling with intelligence. I think it's to just offset that a bit. I mean, that's what I think it's for. But
Yes.
Okay, so just read through all the way up until the intelligence percentage thingy.
Okay, so hero base mana increased from 0 to 50, mana per int reduced from mana per intelligence reduced from 13 to 12. Intelligence now increases your spell damage by 1% per 16 intelligence points. So this is basically like what Mirzab said earlier. I think it offsets the extra HP given and the mana being reduced. Increased as well. It's pretty good for intel heroes, but other than that, yeah.
I mean,
no, it's good for anyone.
Okay, the right. So the HP per strength increasing from 19 to 20, and the mana per introduced from 13 to 12. They're just sort of rounding things off because for the last few patches, it's like a paradise for anyone who's like OCD about all these odd numbers. Because I mean, like, why is it 19 and not a rounded number? Like, so I don't know. It just makes sense that it's 20, because now if you look at your HP pool, it'll always be a multiple of 5. Earlier, like you would have like a odd HP like 997 or something. Now it'll always be 95 or 1000. And the mana, I mean, I don't know, I guess 13 is an unlucky number or whatever, but they decided to make it an even number and they increase the base mana pool to compensate for that. This base mana pool increase though is going to affect strength heroes mostly. Someone like Sven, who really suffers from mana issues early game, is going to get a huge boon from that.
Yeah, and because even I think Juggernaut earlier on, like if he doesn't get a leveling stats or doesn't have some sort of stat within the mana pool, he can't technically spin an ulti afterwards. So now with the extra mana, he gets it.
Pretty good for the dumb heroes.
Like Crystal Maiden, who's stereotypically blonde.
Yeah. No, but yeah, people who previously said like low base mana pools are definitely helped with this change.
So like the starting HP increase from 180 to 200, I think that's more of like a nerf to Bounty Hunter, I think. It just makes heroes tankier, harder for them to pick off. But actually there's a lot of changes here. There are like little nerfs to Bounty Hunter that sort of add up later on. But
we'll talk about it as we go on.
Yeah. What I actually want to talk about is this intelligence now increasing your spell damage by 1%. The thing is, up until now, int has been the least valuable stat to have, because so depending on your primary stat, you gain 1 damage if your primary stat is strength or agility or intel. But so like agility always gave you attack speed and armor. Strength gave you HP and HP regen. Int gave you more mana and mana regen. The thing is, HP regen is really useful. Sorry, not HP regen. Sorry, HP is really useful. Obviously, you can't complain about having more HP, right? But mana pool, on the other hand, I mean, it comes to a point where you're just not gonna use that mana pool. I mean, like the only one who really, I mean, the only heroes that really benefit from a really high mana pool is like Skyrath if he has the eggs. But that's no longer the case because we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so basically they're giving intelligence some sort of additional use, because I mean there is a reason why the Mystic Staff is only 2,700 whereas the Reaver is 3,000 and the Eagle Song is 3,200. Like there's a reason why there's a disparity in that, even though they all give plus 25 to the respective stat. I think this sort of balances it out.
And it's pretty good on heroes like Zeus as well as Invoker, who has been nerfed in the patch, and now this kind of gives them, even though the spell damage was nerfed, but now when you get more intelligence, the spell damage increases. So I think it kind of offsets the fact that they've been nerfed.
But if you're being like, if you do like calculations and stuff, it's a very small increase, right? I mean,
yeah, it's a small increase.
You probably get like, say if you're max level, you probably get like 5 or 6% increase, maybe. Because it's 16.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Invoker has the highest int gain in the game, and that's 4 per level. So after 25 levels, he has 100 extra int, which is 6% increase.
Yeah,
not
6%.
that much.
And also like we get into it later, but there have been like buffs to magic resistance items. Like I think Hood is cheaper now. I think Pipe has I think Hood is cheaper.
Okay, so moving on, we have stats. However, on your hero now shows your total spell amplification, including Ether's Lens. So what they have done is like give a small user interface buff where you can know the exact amount of damage that you're doing with your spells.
The quality of life change.
Quality of life. So then after that we have lane creep health. Health update increase from 10 to 12 HP. I'm guessing that this is per minute, like per 7.5 minutes that it normally used to increase. Again, not. Do you think it's a huge difference? I don't think it makes a huge difference.
It's to counter the increase in damage of the tier 2 towers, as well as the armor aura granted by towers.
Okay, so
the creeps
so tier 2 tower, tier 2 towers does the same amount of damage that as the tier 3 towers now grant an armor aura to allied heroes. So this makes, like since we spoke about it before, this makes ganking a lane a bit harder. You can't pick off heroes under a tower anymore, especially mid lane and off lane. People used to dive towers early on and get those pick-offs, so this makes it a bit more
if you can just go back to the tier 2 towers damage now same as tier 3, that's actually it's because people are pretty reluctant. I mean, I'm just piggybacking this off Purge, but according to him, it's because people are reluctant to defend their tier 2 towers. Because if you're in a situation where you're losing a tier 2 tower, it's very hard to defend because of how the towers are positioned.
Yeah.
So I think this is just to make it a bit easier and give towers more wealth, I think.
So,
I mean, it's essentially a 20 damage increase on the tower. It's pretty good.
How do you think this will affect the true sight range? I think range reduced from 900 to 700. How do you think that will affect? I don't. Again.
Because you will see later on, the gem AoE was reduced by 200 as well. I'm actually trying to think about how it would affect. I mean, it's obviously a buff to Invis heroes.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really see much use for it, right?
You can place wards closer to the tower.
True.
No, I think the biggest effect it will have is around the mid lane. As in the tier 1 towers in the mid lane.
So then we have initial bounty rune no longer gives experience, and like again I was talking about this with you previously also. I think personally I think mid lane shouldn't really fight for the rune. Like if you are in a situation where you might get killed, it's better off blocking the creep wave, and it will be the bounty rune will be a better pick for the carry than the mid should.
That's actually a huge deal, because I mean, like, different heroes like would benefit differently from a fast level 2. So giving experience really like evens out like more mid lane matchups, and like the bounty rune is not gonna be a totally, like, the bounty rune is not gonna cause the mid lane to be totally lost. If one hero gets it and the other doesn't.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
It's also a necessary change because they basically more than double the EXP of the range creep, as we'll see later on.
Yeah.
And the thing is, just imagine if you got the bounty room which gave experience and your opponent didn't, and on top of that you denied the range creep from the first wave. Like, the swing is just going to be tremendous in experience.
Yeah, and basically that's like a lane lost afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so then moving on, we have mid heroes attack range increased from 128 to 150. This actually kind of looks funny in game, where it looks like the hero is not actually attacking. I was playing Sven, the PA both. It doesn't really look like the weapon kind of hits the other hero. There's like a small difference between. I don't know why they changed this much. Do you see a use for it?
Doom always had 150 attack range. So they basically buffed all the heroes up to Doom.
50.
Yeah, that's actually funny. TA is a ranged hero, but she has less range than melee heroes now. Her base range is 140.
Her base range.
Yeah.
Once you get Sabre blades, it's not noticeable.
The only real use for this is like just getting in that last hit on an escaping hero.
Wake up.
But I think the more useful thing is that melee heroes can now de-ward uphill without a quelling blade.
Oh, they can?
If the ward is close enough.
Oh, right.
Okay, wow, okay, that was...
Doom could do it earlier, but now as a support, you don't need to be carrying around tangos. I think it's mostly for supports. and deward.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of buffs in this patch for the supports we'll be getting to later on. So yeah, moving on, we have lane creep aggro duration increase from 2 to 2.5. I think this makes it easier, like during the laning stage, control the lane, because we have a longer time that the creeps follow you, and you can get the melee creeps to actually attack your range creep without having the other person drag the aggro back. I don't know. That's what I think. What do you think, Harpy?
This used so basically you could have done the same thing earlier by just repeatedly aggroing, like so you aggro the lane creep by right clicking the enemy hero, and then just before 2 seconds finish you just right click the enemy hero again to double pull them. So you could do that earlier, but just more tiresome. So this makes it slightly easier to do that. It's mostly for the offlane, I think.
Yeah, definitely easier to.
Yeah, easier to do.
It's easy on the. I mean, it's better for offlaners. Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't add more functionality; it just makes life easier.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So same thing goes with like lane aggro creep. Cooldown increase from 2 to 2.5 seconds. Then we have melee creep. Okay, so melee creep bounty gold reduced from 40 to 38. Not a lot. Then, but you have to change for the range creep, which has been range creep experience has been increased from 41 to 90, and then you have the melee creep experience reduced from 62 to 45. Essentially, this keeps the entire experience of the wave the same, but getting the range creep now gives you more experience than getting the melee. So even if you miss a few melee creeps, the important creep here to get is the range on always. If you miss it, you're losing out on a lot of experience in the lane. I guess this is like a mid lane thing more than anything else.
I mean, it's not just mid lane. I mean, it's for any lane really. The range creep holds much more importance now, because the range creep anyway gives more gold than the melee creep. So how it was earlier was that the melee creeps gave more EXP, but the range creeps gave more gold. So there was, you know, ups and downs to both. There was like there wasn't really a priority on which creep was more important. But now the range creep literally gives double the EXP and a bit more gold as well. So the two main things that this actually affects is one, Hand of Midas. Earlier, if you weren't going to Midas a neutral creep, you'd always want to Midas the melee creep, because you'll always get the same amount of gold no matter what, and melee creeps give more EXP. So you'd always want to Midas the melee creep, but now you always want to Midas the range creep. The other thing it affects is well, I think this is sort of minor, but heroes who use Helm of Domination to stack. So generally what they do is they just dominate the range creep because they're too lazy to jump into the forest, or, you know, they just don't want to waste time by going to the forest and finding a range creep there. And then send the range creep to stack because, you know, it's 100 times easier to stack with a range creep than a melee creep. But now they're missing out on half the EXP by dominating the range creep.
That's not the deal though.
I mean, it has a slight effect.
I still would prefer to dominate the range creep. There's another reason, like the HP on the range creep is pretty big compared to some of the range creeps inside
How
the
much
forest.
EXP do the neutral big creeps give in general?
I can't remember. There's a whole table, but it's a lot more than that. Not a lot more, but it's considerably more.
Yeah.
Still more than 90, I believe.
Then we have experience required to get to level 8 from level 8 and 9 rescale from 600, 1200 to 800,000. It's basically the same thing. They have reduced 200 and give it basically increase 200 at level 8 and then reduce it from.
This is also just another buff to supports, I think. Like.
Okay, so if you actually looked at the EXP table, like before this change, it's a complete mess, right? Like, it initially used to be the formula for experience for the next level used to be basically the level you're going to go to times 100. So basically level 1 to level 2 would be 200 because 2 times 100. Level 3 would be 300 EXP. Level 4 400. But now, like, Ice Rock has like changed things around so much that it was just like to go to the biggest disparity comes in from level 10 to 11. 10 to 11 you only need 600 EXP, but 11 to 12 you need 2200 EXP. Just for comparisons, for level 24 to 25 you need 2400 EXP, like 2500 EXP. So like it was a real mess, because like because like some levels, like at like level 6 level 8 earlier, before the change, it was like 600, and then next level was 1200, right? And then the level after that, it would be like you need less EXP to go to the next level. Like, it was really confusing for new players, and it's sort of like, if you look at it as a new player, you just look at it and think, why is it so weird? So now, like, there are much less exceptions. I think the only exception where it actually like drops and then rises again is the level 10 to 11.
Then we have, so like what Hockey was saying is, I'm pretty sure most of the players out there,
it just gives them more uniformity to like the
Is it like I'm pretty sure, like I think you're the only person other than like I don't know, this is on total my opinion. I really don't check how much experience it takes to go from level to level. I think you're the first person that I know who has actually checked into how the experience changes from level to level. But I knew that, very insightful. Okay, Mirza, you know it.
That's because Peter told me.
Oh,
but the 10, I distinctly remember the 10 to 11 one, because that was a change that was made a couple of patches ago, and that was really significant because we reached the level 11 really fast. So I remember that, and actually the rest of the levels I only checked it like after I saw that change. I just looked at the Wikipedia. But going back to the neutral camps, how much EXP they give. So level 5 neutral gives 119 EXP. To compare that to a range creep, it's might not be.
I mean, it's Raindrops, right?
Yeah, you might be better off just like, if you're going to Midas now, you're probably better off not searching for a creep in the jungle, unless the camp is like right next to the lane.
Okay, then moving on, we have Ethereal now blocks. Ethereal now blocks in-flight attack projectiles fully rather than just one launch before Ethereal.
Yeah, this was needed. I couldn't believe like this is not a thing already, because like if Enchantress already like launched an impetus attack on you and you ethereal it, you only block the physical aspect of it, and I think you still get damaged by the pure part of the impetus.
Oh, right,
if I'm not mistaken, right? So yeah, same thing goes with OD and all that stuff. So yeah. So now it's just like as soon as it's launched and you ethereal yourself, you don't get damaged.
Basically, small adjustments being done to correct
okay, I get it. I never actually noticed it before, but
yeah, it was pretty weird before, but now it works properly.
Okay, so then we have Evasion now uses pseudo-random distribution, and Evasion is now calculated on impact rather than on launch.
This change was made by Ice Rock because of all the hits Rune missed on Terror's aim.
I saw that.
Actually, no, Viren can explain it.
So pseudo-random distribution just reduces frustration from people just missing like 10 hits in a row. So that's less likely to happen, as well as you not getting an evasion proc for 10 hits in a row is going to be less likely to happen. So basically, it's going to make things more consistent, so less luck based. The second part about evasion, about now it being calculated on impact, is a buff. Because say you're running away from a hero who has like really long range, like for instance Enchantress with a eggs and a dragon lance, and she fires the final hit. Like earlier, the moment you fire the hit, it says miss on top of you, so you know you missed it, so you can continue chasing. But now you have to wait till your projectile actually hits the target to know that it hit or not. So you don't know whether to commit or not. Get my point?
Okay. So this works the same way during the for example, if you're missing a normal right click on high ground as well, right?
Yeah. So you only know the hit actually missed once the projectile reaches the target. Earlier, as soon as you fired the projectile, you'd know whether it hit or missed.
But now this means that like you can launch a hit, like you can launch a hit and you can like blink onto the high ground so it doesn't miss, right? Because I heard that's.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So now you can make sure
this
like
kind
if
of
you're
makes things harder for the mid lane as well, because normally you know when you miss a hit on a creep, right? Now you will have to actually wait and you won't know.
Yeah, is that big of a deal in like the mid lane, to be honest? I mean,
that's the only way where you will be attacking high round, right? You have the safe lane and.
You would say like the guy is running into base, something like that. Yeah.
Or if they have an evasion item.
Yeah. I guess.
Then we have the neutral creep section of the whole thing. We have Centaur's health reduced from 550 to 350, so it's basically less tank here. Armor was reduced by 1. The large Centaur camp now spawns 2 Centaurs instead of 1. Does this mean that it gives more gold and EXP in the camp?
Yeah.
Spawns extra 1, or does it remain the same?
It means it gives more gold and EXP.
It's easier to take, but it's harder for magic
this is like a nerf to this is like a nerf to heroes to kind of control neutral, right? For Chen enchanters or anyone who uses a helm to control this.
Yes.
Not a helm. The Centaur Corsair is the small Centaur, so no one really is going to control that.
Oh yeah, that's true. But then again, like this makes it easier to jungle for, say for example, SF who had trouble jungling in the previous patch.
The thing is this, it's actually it makes it harder for him to jungle because the Centaur Corsair is one of the units that has that cloak aura which gives 20% stacking magic resistance. So now they have 40%. I don't know whether this stacks diminishingly or additively.
But still, it's definitely going to be harder.
Yeah, but something you need to note is that it says the large Centaur camp now spawns 2 Centaur Corsairs. So the medium camp still spawns only 1.
So it's easy to take medium camps. Medium Centaur camps.
Yeah, so basically earlier, if you saw a Centaur camp in your medium camp, your heart would just drop because you know that's much harder than the regular medium camps, and it gives about the same amount of gold and EXP. And earlier also when you saw a Centaur camp spawning in the hard camp, your heart dropped because you know it gave much less gold and EXP. But now the large camp gives more gold and EXP, and the medium camp is easier to take.
Yeah, I mean the Centaur camps are just like terrible, right? So I think they needed to.
Yeah, exactly. So they buffed it.
A bit, yeah.
So RL just told me that it stacks multiplicatively with other sources of magic resistance, so you can't reach 100% with the cloak aura. I actually thought you could. I thought that was an exception to that. Never mind.
Don't be stupid though.
So yeah, moving on, we have Roshan magic resistance reduced from 75% to 55. Roshan HP increased from 7,500 to 8,000, and then it increases every 175 minutes. Sorry, 100 plus. Okay, every 175 per minute. So basically, Roshan is harder to kill, but takes more magic damage. And Roshan bounty changed from 1,789 to 750 plus. So okay, so getting level 1 Rosh is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was about to say that is the most important part of this, because level 1 Rosh has been nerfed to the ground. Because to get earlier you can get roughly level 2.5 if you had 5 heroes in the Rosh pit. Now none of your heroes will reach level 2 unless some heroes go away from the Rosh pit, because you need 200 EXP for each hero to reach level 2, but there's 5 heroes, so each hero only gets 150 EXP. So level 1 Rosh is not going to give you nearly an advantage. If you get caught just earlier, if you get caught just after killing Rosh, you still had 2 spells, so you could take on the enemy lineup. But now you still have only 1 spell, you're screwed.
So basically level 1 Roshan is not possible anymore. Then
it's not possible, it's just not
it's just not viable.
Yeah. Then we have double damage and haste no longer have special rules being dispelled by spell. I think this is really huge, and this is really good. I think it was a bit retarded, the fact that every time you get repelled or something.
Yeah.
Sorry. Apparently my mic is making noises. Hopefully that is fixed now. Okay. So previously if you get repelled or even if Jagger spins, for example, the boss used to go off, right? So now it doesn't happen. Basically you can spin and chase after the hero on haste.
Yeah, because earlier activating BKB used to have a lot of negative effects on you. Well, not a lot, but a few. Basically that is removing those negative effects, because you never want to buy an item that does something bad for you, right?
Yeah, but on the same vein, I don't know why they're buffing runes like double damage and haste, because they're already pretty good, right?
But at the same time, they've nerfed haste quite a bit. They've reduced the duration to like what, 20 seconds now?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't make sense that it goes off when you repel. Like, it's supposed to be I don't know, it's a buff to the hero, right? Like, and repel is also kind of a what do you call a protective method for the hero, and it doesn't make sense that you're taking off one good thing to give another thing. Both, why not? Yes, and it doesn't really matter unless you're like really lucky and you find the haste rune as soon as you run into a hero, and then you have the repel on top of it. It's very situational.
It's sick on Lifestealer though. Sick on Lifestealer.
Oh yeah,
he's able to use it from whenever.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Gets a DD and a haste or whatever.
So now the following buffs are now purgeable: Nightmare, Spawn Spider Links, Malefice, Cold Snap, Corrosive Skin, Deep Movement Speed buff as well.
So to me, this seems like a random list of spells that is put together, except one, which is Cold Snap.
Oh, Cold Snap, okay.
So that's like a direct invoker nerf, right? But the rest are just like so random because
wasn't Nightmare purgeable before?
Yeah, I actually until I read this, I always thought that Nightmare was purgeable, but apparently not.
No, it's only purgeable by. It was only purgeable by strong dispels, I think. So yeah.
Okay, so then we have minor adjustment to cast range mechanics to reduce overly long cast ranges when the target is moving quickly. What does this mean? I was really lost when I read this.
So basically, earlier, so how it was sort of like a bug when Dota 2 was made, and they never really addressed it. So if you had, say, a say there was a Furion chasing a Mirana, and the Mirana was running away, and the Furion started casting Sprout on Mirana, as in he unit targeted Sprout. Is still unit targetable? I think so. Anyway, so he unit targeted Sprout on the Mirana, and as he was casting it, the Mirana leaped, but she leaped into an area where the Furion still had vision. So even though the Mirana was like 1,000 units away, the Sprout still gets casted on Mirana. Even though like he's like 1,000 plus distance away from the Furion. So now basically they've finally fixed that 5 years later, 6 years later, and that should no longer happen. Because earlier, as long as you started casting a spell, if you maintained vision, no matter where in the map they were, the spell would still be carried out. For instance, if for example, you would have noticed so many Fiend's Grips from like miles away, right?
Yeah.
Like Bane casting Fiend's Grip and they leap or something and you still cast it, that's not going to happen anymore.
Okay, so it's basically correcting a bug.
Yeah.
And then we have illusions now benefit from damage block, just makes the illusions more tanky.
That's pretty huge, because
like it's good.
Naga
it's
not really useful for Vanguard carriers because they're not going to make Vanguard, but it's more useful for the Poor Man's Shield.
Poor Man's Shield, yeah.
Given the early levels, I guess it's pretty good. Then we have, this is the part where competitive, I guess, changes a lot. You have Captain's Mode pick time from 40 to 30, but they have increased the bonus time, so it's almost the same thing, doesn't make much of a difference, I guess. Since you have like three picking stages, so you get an extra 20 seconds on the bonus time, so not a huge change there. Then you have Captain's Mode adjusted the order of the ban in the second ban phase, and then picking in the final pick phase. And overall pick ban order of the two teams are as follows. Okay, Hockey, this is like your section. Please, what do you think?
So
this will affect?
There's two significant changes here. One is, so for the second picking phase, for the second picking phase and the second banning phase, as the team who had second pick, what you could do is you could ban a hero and immediately pick a hero after that. So there was no reaction time between that. So now after you ban the hero, the team with first pick gets the next ban, and then only you get to pick a hero.
Okay.
Wait, so let me make this simply. Okay, so imagine a situation where Radiant has first pick, Dire has second pick. Okay. So the first banning phase and first picking phase is over. So in the second banning phase, each team has banned a hero each. Previously, Dire could ban a hero and immediately go to the picking phase, and he gets to pick the next hero as well. But now he bans a hero, then Radiant gets to react by banning a second hero, and then only he gets to pick. So there's no consecutive ban and pick after that.
Also, now first pick doesn't get last pick anymore, right?
Yeah, but to sort of compensate for that, in the third ban and pick phase, the Radiant team gets to ban and pick immediately afterwards. But in turn to once again compensate for that, the Dire team gets last pick.
You mean second pick overall gets last pick?
Yeah, I'm just in a situation where Radiant has first pick.
Yeah.
I think
team with first pick doesn't get last pick as well.
Yeah, it's basically a small nerf to first pick, but yeah.
He just shifted things around. To be honest, I always thought second pick was stronger.
But I mean, now it's a bit...
So you can play a combination of heroes that you want to run with rather than just pick one and not know what to do with it.
It's...
Then we have removed strong armor types and moved affected units to soft type, which is now renamed to basic type. These are, I don't know, I actually personally I don't know about these armor types which have been used. These are more like I don't know, basically game mechanics that I have never really got into.
That is exactly why they're doing it.
Okay, so so this all these armor types is actually a relic of Warcraft 3. And it just persisted into Dota because I guess at the time when they made the first few versions of Dota, they didn't really think about it. And for some reason, I mean, I guess people wanted the same game in Dota 2, so they transferred it there to Dota 2. But this doesn't exist in any sort of documentation in the game. There is no, like, if you hover over someone's armor, it doesn't say what type it is.
Exactly.
And like to the general Dota 2 player, all they know armor as is a number, not a type. And finally, they're getting rid of this unnecessary complication. Like, it's just an unnecessary layer of complexity that they're just getting rid of. So earlier, so to put it in like simple terms, anyone with any unit with pierce damage used to do like amplified damage to lane creeps, but less damage to heroes. Perfect example is the if you've ever jungled, you would have found the troll camp to be really easy to jungle because they don't do any damage to you. But if you had summons, they just wreck your summons. The moment you like pull it into your lane, they just demolish that lane because they do so much damage to the lane creeps, but not to the hero. Now they've changed. They've changed the Dark Soul Summoner's attack from pierce to hero, which basically means that they won't actually wreck the creep wave anymore if you pull them into it. But at the same time, they actually do more damage to heroes and towers as well. So it's just, yeah, they just got rid of that. It was sort of an unnecessary complexity. But you need to keep in mind that they haven't abolished it completely, because there are still the easy camp still has those Wool assassins which do pierce damage, and they demolish any wave you pull into them. Even if it's a single pull, they can still take out a considerable amount of creeps. As well as there's I think the troll. I'm not sure about the troll camp. I don't think the troll camp has it. But yeah, okay. So the Wool assassins, I know for sure, still have pierce damage.
Then you have yeah. So we will go into the whole armor type thing on another update as well, and in another video as well, because I think a lot of people don't know about these armor types. But moving on, we have Thunderhide's attack type from basics to hero, and like Viren was talking about Pierce, and there was like Pierce and hero, so it's kind of something like that. We will get into it later on another video. Then you had Dark Trolls summoner damage reduced from 55, 60 to 40 and 45. Then you have Thunderhide's attack damage reduced from, these are all neutrals nerfs, I guess, like it's all been reduced, right?
So basically, okay, so the thing is, the Dark Troll summoner, since it was changed from pierce to hero, it actually does more damage to heroes. So to compensate for that, they reduce the damage it does. So basically it's an overall nerf to the Dark Rose Summoner because he does about the same amount of damage to heroes now, maybe slightly more, but he does much less to creeps.
Then you have the Harpy Stormcraft, the mana pool reduced from 540 to 400. Harpy is the guy with the lightning thing, right? You have in the lane.
Yeah. So as far as I remember, the Harpy's mana cost for that lightning is 90.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, it is 90.
So earlier you had 6 casts of it. Now you have what?
No wait,
casts?
wait, no.
6.
Oh wait, hold on. No, it's 50 mana.
Oh, it's 50. That's ridiculous.
Jesus,
So now you have 8.
Yeah, now you have
You
8
have
casts.
8.
Earlier you had close to 11 casts. That's ridiculous.
Okay. Then you have the Satyr's mana pool reduced from 600 to 400. How much is the Satyr's, what do you call that?
So don't get confused with this. This is Satyr Tormentor, not the Hellcaller. This is the little guy with the Purge.
Oh, the little guy, the Purge guy, okay.
Oh no!
Yeah, the Hellcaller still has 6 nukes to go.
Oh, I thought Hadouken was done.
I was actually happy when I read this. I thought it was like the big Satyr there.
But you know, the Purge Creep is also equally annoying.
Yeah, exactly. The Purge Creep was cancelled as well because the Purge is 120 mana. He had 5 casts of it earlier. Now you only have 3. Considerably less.
I mean, like people who
It's
just
still enough
purge
to
you
get a
for
kill.
fun. Like people who just purge you for fun. Like if there was like a neutral creep sacking ancients, like if the Purge Creep was sacking ancients, he just come and purge you, man. Like for no reason at all. Now they're doing it twice. I'm just kidding, but.
Okay, so that's basically all the general notes in the patch. And now we'll be moving on to the turn changes. These are basically all the map changes that are there.
Those are a bit hard to do over voice, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to do a voice because you have to see them.
Okay, so now we will be discussing about the terrain again. Like talking about the terrain is really hard to talk about each and every point and try to explain it since we are not pointing at a map and trying to explain it. So we'll just go about the more important points in the map change. Like for example, the new pathing near the Dire Ancient, and then also the fact that the Radiant Tier 2 bottom tower was moved really far forward, and then the new warding spot in the Dire jungle. So in my opinion, I think the Dire warding spot was necessary because the Radiant had the same place to be warded, and Dire actually didn't have any other high ground cliff to be warded that you can see the forest. So I think it was just evening out the 2 jungles, since most people prefer to be in the Dire jungle because they expected it to be safer than the Radiant will now allow more parts to gank. And another thing was that I realized while playing a game where the tier 2 bottom Radiant tower, there is another juke spot where you can, during the night time, you can come through that juke spot without being seen by the tower. So you can like basically instantly be near the tower without anyone knowing.
That was in the last patch, right?
No, it was actually this patch, the new juke spot came.
The Radiant Tier 2 tower.
Tier 2 tower.
Yeah,
That juke spot came now, I think.
It's a lot harder without visual aid.
Yeah. So other than that, yeah, go ahead, Harpy.
I mean, overall, so the Dire offlane, so it's that they're trying to balance the both sides, obviously. That's why it's called a balance patch. But
Thanks, man.
so that
Thanks.
they're nerfing the Dire jungle because it was considered too hard, as too strong, as you said. They're nerfing the Dire offlane. I don't know why people always say that the Radiant offlane is better, but I always found the Dire offlane better. I don't know why. Yeah, because like the hard camp you had there was harder to reach than the Radiant camp. But anyway, so they nerfed the Dire offlane because it's easier to gank now because there's that extra path there which just pops out of nowhere. Another thing about the Dire offlane is they sort of buffed it a bit, because earlier it was almost impossible to stack that to stack the hard camp next to the offlane. And if you were to stack it properly, you'd either A, have to cut one of the trees, or B, you'd have to pull it away from the lane, which means obviously you can't walk back to the lane. Whereas on the Radiant side, you could always pull it and walk back to the lane, and you'd stack it perfectly.
Okay, so that's other than that, there are like small changes all around where the creeps are Creep spawns are changed a bit, and then yeah, spaced out Radiant Tier 4 towers slightly. Bit of like small changes all around, but really hard to get into without having any visual aid to explain it to you also. We'll be moving into the items. There are like 6 new items. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Or 8.
Seven.
Right.
So basically there are
right.
7 new items, and I don't know, man, it feels like these items are really overpowered and ridiculously strong. For example, the Bloodthorn, like we'll get into Bloodthorn and how strong it is, the first item on the patch. Basically it requires the Orchid Chrysalis and the recipe, and it has become the most expensive item in Dota 2, which costs like 7,195 to make. And
exactly.
I think it's a really bad item to rush for it, but late game is ridiculous because every hit is a crit. It basically does, let me see, where is it?
Mind you, that's a crit from everyone, including creeps.
Yeah. So basically everyone around the target crits you for 1.35, and it is true strike as well, so there is no chance of missing that hit either. And it's so strong late game, and even though it's expensive, it's a good upgrade to get on heroes who will actually genuinely build into an Orchid. For example, Nature's Prophet, Invoker,
Invoker does not. I guess Vex Invoker would.
Yeah, Vex Invoker. But I really don't think that Invoker will be played a lot in this patch after the nerf. We'll have to wait and see. It depends. I mean, on opinion, I think Hockey was talking to me before it, and he thinks like it's just like at level 1 that Invoker is a bit harder to play, but then after that with levels it just is as strong as he used to be. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So basically I think the item is strong. Any other things that you want to add to it?
Well, as you said, it's not something you're gonna rush. It's like earlier you make an Orchids, and the Orchids is always substituted with a Hex late game, because the silence just doesn't cut it. But now you no longer have to replace it with a Hex. You can just upgrade the Orchids. So it's something like say you'd buy the Orchids and you'd buy your other items, and then later on you think, oh, I'm sort of running out of slots, time to upgrade my Orchids. Not something you'd exclusively aim to get, but you'd rather get it later on. Heroes that I really think it's strong on, I think Furion would be really good with it.
Yeah.
Invoker definitely. I mean, just imagine your Forge Spirits and Alacrity on yourself with this on a target, and Cold Snap Dead just not gonna live through all that damage.
But the thing is, like, this item is countered really easily. I mean, you can get a Use Scepter, you can get a Manta, a BKB.
Yeah,
and
but
this is like 7,200 gold.
But the thing is, you'd only get it really late game. You wouldn't rush for it. That's why I said you don't rush for it. So you'd get it later on when BKBs are much lower duration.
Yeah, or if there's like a Furion and he's playing against like maybe a Phantom Assassin, like some kind of evasion, then it's good.
Exactly. I mean, I don't think this item is in any way imbalanced.
Yeah,
I think it just makes Orchids a more viable purchase. Because right now, hardly anyone buys Orchids.
Maybe if they remove the recipe cost, that'll be a bit OP, I think. But yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty expensive though. My God, it's the most expensive item.
No, but the thing is, like, you're still not spending 1,000 gold on nothing. So yeah.
Yeah.
And like these guys, like, I don't know, listen to it, don't rush for this item. I've been having a nightmare in pubs where people just pick Furion and try to rush for this, and
no, rush it if you're against Phantom Assassin. It's great against Phantom Assassin.
Yeah.
But then that early on in the game, it takes such a long time to make, and you're delaying.
I mean, not really. You could have this item on Furion in 20 minutes.
But if you think about it, I mean, against PA basically, once you get something to go through her evasion, you're basically cutting her health in half.
I mean, you have Silver's Edge, which is much cheaper to get to take off the...
But if you're Silver Edge, like, can your Silver Edge hit miss? It can, right?
No, it can't. It's always
it can't.
The first is True Strike, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Good.
So, yeah, I really think that it's, like Hockey said, I think it's an upgrade that you get later on in the game, but it's a really bad item to rush. I mean, it's so expensive and you're dealing all your other items, and it's... These guys, like anyone, for everyone who is listening, do not rush this item in pubs. It becomes really bad in game. So then we have Echo Sabre. Is that how you pronounce it? Echo Sabre?
Yeah,
Echo Sabre. Yeah.
Okay, so again a new item. It's a combination of Oblivion Staff and Ogre's Club. Basically gives you 10 strength, 10 intelligence, 10 attack speed, 15 damage, 75 mana regen. The important part of this item is basically you get kind of a double, like a quick attack. You attack twice in quick succession, which kind of slows you. It slows you for 100% movement speed and attack speed for 0.6 seconds. I know it's not like a huge duration. I mean, 0.6 seconds is basically nothing, but the two quick attacks that you get off is actually pretty good on heroes like what I found was good on heroes like PA, Juggernaut, and like Hawk was saying before, while I was talking to him, on heroes with high base damage like Sign. And it is kind of a replacement for the drums, which was nerfed.
I don't like this item actually. It's not that great. Like for 650. Do you think it's good?
Yeah, 2. Okay, so
I mean,
the thing is, up until Terra mentioned that it could be a replacement for drums, I always thought it was pretty bad. But since drums was nerfed considerably, I
drums was nerfed for like agility and like strength heroes, right? I mean, it's still okay for intel because it gives you intelligence.
This is for the,
but I mean, how many intel? Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 melee intel heroes anyway, as far as I know. 2 or 3. It's a very small number. It's like Ogre and Darkseer.
And yeah, something that RL was pointing out was
I'm talking about like drums not being nerfed that hard on intel heroes.
Yeah. I mean, this you would never get on an intel hero anyway. You'd want to get this on a strength hero, or agility melee. But something to note is that when you see this double attack applying a 0.6 second 100 ms AS slow, you immediately think about Sniper and his headshot. And for those of you who remember how annoying it was because you suddenly get a headshot in the middle and your attack is like really slow, you need to keep in mind that with the previous patch, they actually made it. Okay, so Valve for a long time had a lot of trouble making attack speed update dynamically during an attack. So basically, if you were slowed by like 100% attack speed for 0.1 second, the remainder of your attack, even though it takes like 2 seconds to attack, would be slowed. Now it's only for that 0.1 second that you're slowed, and then your attack speed resumes. So you don't have to like cancel an attack again. So this isn't that much of an effect. Like, sure, you'll be slowed by 100% for 0.6 seconds, but it's only 0.6 seconds. You don't need to cancel your attack and re-attack again. It's just it automatically updates it for you. So it isn't that great. The heroes that I think it would be good on is basically heroes where just buying flat out attack speed wouldn't be that great. So basically we have a high BAT, for instance. I mean, okay, so Tiny doesn't have a high BAT, but since he has a lot of negative attack speed from his ulti, this could be worth it. You get 2 quick hits in. Another hero could be Sven with God Strength. Get 2 quick hits in and you can probably just like kill a hero before they can react. Bharat, I think it would be perfect on Bharatram because he has a high above average BAT, and you can't afford to get attack speed items on him because you want to tank up, get a BKB or whatnot, and this sort of gives him that.
The thing is, I mean, the Bharat doesn't need the mana regen. He doesn't need the.
Yeah, he doesn't need the mana regen and the intel, but he does benefit from the double hit.
I think it's good on Slark as well, because Slark actually suffers from mana, right? I mean, but a lot. I feel like he suffers a lot without the mana early on in the game.
Once you get that Aquila and your wand, I mean, your mana is sufficient, I think. I don't think this, like, initially I thought this would be good on Slug. It's decent on Slug, but I think you can get better items on Slug than this. Because Silver Edge is super cost effective now, right? I mean, it gives insane stats, right? It gives like, you make it with an ultimate orb or something.
Yeah.
I think you just go like Silver Edge is probably better than getting this, getting Echo Sabre.
This RL is actually suggesting Slada, and actually I'm just looking at it and thinking it's actually fairly good on Slada, because you actually benefit from the intel and the strength.
It's a good luxury item. It's like a
Yeah.
Bro,
I wouldn't say
do you
it's
think a
core on
luxury item
anyone.
or a late game, like early game item?
It's like a
It's-
mid-game item. I don't think it's a luxury because you're not going to spend
Yeah.
you're not going to have a
Okay,
item for
not
2600
not
gold.
exactly luxury, but it's not like it's not a core item.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not a
think,
core item.
on any hero. I don't think. Like maybe actually, I really like it on Ursa because it increases mana pool. You know, like the attack speed is good, mana regen is good. You can get your you can get lots of slows in, and the double hit definitely helps. I think on Ursa it's
Tiny and
okay.
Ursa, yeah. Tiny and Ursa would be the best choice, I guess. Then we have moving on. We have Blight Stone, which is used for Medallion of Courage and Desolator now, and it's 300 gold and there's -2 armor on attack. It's available on the
Dude.
side shop.
This item I think you straight up right at the start, right, on a support, and like your zoning is so much better. Oh no,
It's
that
countered
other thing?
by the armor order from the tower.
Oh right, yeah. But I mean, how often are they like? I don't know.
I mean, it's good for zoning the offlaner because it's going to be away from the tower.
Yeah,
But 300 gold, that's half your starting gold.
I
Who's
guess.
going to buy the
Too
wall? Who's
expensive.
going to buy the regen?
But I mean, awards what 75? You get a courier.
Oh, they
I mean-
reduced the cost of wards as well to 65.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
65.
And the
actually, yeah.
courier. The courier upgrade the cost they
But
reduced.
like I think the only support it would be like a good pickup on would probably be like Dazzle. Dazzle I think would be right. Dazzle.
Another thing that I'm not entirely sure about is that they haven't said it's a unique attack modifier.
It actually is. In game, it actually says it's a unique attack modifier, if I'm right.
Alright, okay. Because I was wondering because does it stack? Because Deso doesn't stack. It's a unique attack modifier, but if this stacks, then it has uses.
Not entirely sure about it. If I can remember right, I think there was.
But I
there
mean, you would consider getting it on like Dazzle, Venge, Versatile, maybe because they are gonna build into like a medallion most likely anyway. Yeah.
Okay, so RLS checked up on it. It apparently is a unique attack.
Yeah,
modifier,
it
so,
is.
yeah.
It should
is checked.
should be.
Okay, this is an item that I actually want to talk to you about. The Infused Raindrops. I want to know exactly how this works. I still didn't use it, mainly due to the fact that I really didn't understand how this works. So if we can get into it.
So it's an awesome
yeah.
item for just being 225 gold. It basically is a counter to the increased damage from intel, as in spell damage from intel. It's basically a counter to the pesky Edelens, because everyone and their dogs build Edelens these days.
Post laning stage item, I guess. I mean, after the 6-7 minute mark, it's good, yeah.
Yeah, you just buy it. If you have an extra item slot, always have it. It's 225 gold and it does so much for you. So
It's
basically,
freaking great against heroes like Storm. Like Storm just gets owned by this item.
the only thing is that it only procs after the first instance of damage. So you could nuke someone for like 300 damage and then only it procs.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, how does it actually work? Like it says you commit 5 charges, and when you receive over 50 magic damage, it procs. What do you mean by procs? Like in the sense, it blocks that 50 damage?
So when only once you receive 50 magic damage, it activates, and then the following 120 magic damage it will block. I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Or is it for only an instance of 50 or more magic damage that it actually blocks that instance? For
No.
100.
That's
No, I think if
As
you
in-
receive over 50. I mean, it says it, right? If you receive-
As in, okay, so just imagine you're being ganked and there's 2 heroes with 300 damage nukes, right? So does it, when the first 300 damage nuke comes along, does it block immediately 120 and leave only 180 left over? Or does it not block anything for the first one but activates then, and when the second nuke comes in, it blocks 120 damage?
Oh, I see. Deserves a test.
Check.
Deserves a
Let me
test.
check that. Yeah,
And
this is a check.
if it procs, how long does the active stay? As in, how long does the
There's
effect
a cooldown
last?
of 4 seconds, right? So basically,
Oh,
per
okay.
instant
So,
only.
so from the way the wording is and the fact that it has a cooldown of 4 seconds, I'm guessing it's just that initial instance. So the first nuke that you get hit by will you'll reduce 120 magic damage from it.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So it's actually good against heroes like.
So it's actually really good. It's really good against ganks.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
you
like-
don't even
and like-
you don't even need to precast it, right? It's just there.
Yeah, actually. And the mana regen is pretty good. It's okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's less. Is it more than a Basilisk or is it less than a Basilisk?
Yeah, it's more.
It's more
Wow,
than a Basilisk.
I actually didn't realize that it's 0.82. That is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's more than a Basilisk. So
Basilisk is 0.65.
yeah, it's a pretty good item. Pretty good item.
Yeah, for 225 gold, it's ridiculous.
Okay, then moving on, we have Wind Lance. It costs 225. It provides.
It's a wind lace actually.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, lace. My bad. Provides 20 movement speed available in the side shop. It's used in drums and mules. Multiple instances don't stack. I really don't see the use for it other than on, I guess, supports. It really needs to.
Any Yule buyer, any drum buyer. I mean, you know.
I want to have it.
What you need to think about is this, right? It's a little more than half the cost of a boot, 400 versus 225, and it gives a little less than half the speed of a boot, 20 versus 45. So early game, you know, there's always that hero where you want a boots on, but if you buy a boost, you don't have any money remaining to buy other items. But this is a middle ground for it. So support heroes could be getting this at level 1 instead of a boot, because then they have money to buy other stuff as well.
Yeah, and it's also like a good add-on, maybe, you know, like if you're a CM, you're slow as hell.
Yeah, exactly. It counters, like, I mean,
Yeah.
CM has a terrible base movement speed.
Yeah, it's good for that.
So something interesting to note about this item, the same name, same stats, but it's actually suggested in 2010. It was on the Play Dota forums, suggested in 2010 for 400 gold, and it was meant to be a part of the recipe for Yules and Boots of Travel, but you know, at that time drums didn't exist. Gave 20 movement speed that's stacked with other things. Like, it's pretty cool, like how Ice Rock still remembers things from so long ago. It even has the same art for it. As in, not identical. I think they. Oh no, sorry, my bad. It's not the same art. It's changed. It's similar art. The colors changed.
But the same name though. So.
Same name. Price is different. Same movement speed. Like he obviously got this from the suggestions in 2010.
This has been around from 2010. That's way before I started Dota as well.
Yeah, not 2011. 2011.
Yeah. So I started in 2011. So it's basically 1 year before I started Dota. Wow. Long time back. Then, okay, so we have the next item, Tome of Knowledge. I think this is really good for supports who are like looking for that extra level to hit that level 2 ultimate.
Yep. Could be the difference, man. Could be.
Yeah, it can. It's basically can make a difference.
I don't know. I actually don't like this item because it's a okay. So experience is supposed to be a resource that is hard to obtain, and especially when when the other team is when another team is ahead, like it's hard for you to get EXP without, you know, just outright feeding, because you know you have to put yourself in danger. But now you have a safe source of EXP. It's very cheap, 150 gold only. Sure,
every 10 minutes though.
Yeah, sure. It's still limited by the fact that you can only buy it every 10 minutes. But 425 gold is basically 2/3 of the way from level 10 to 11.
Yeah, as I said, could be the difference, you know.
Yeah, it could be the difference. But the thing is that there are all. It's sort of. I mean, it's mostly going to be beneficial for people for teams that are, you know, stuck inside their base and have no map control. But they already have so many ways of coming back into the game with all the comeback mechanics. And the other thing I don't like about it is that it's so limited in stock. Imagine the fighting that's gonna go on in pubs with this.
In pubs,
I mean, not really. I mean, I've seen a lot of people who are, you know, willing to, like, you know, give it to the person who needs it, right? They identify.
The differences on the rank that you play and in the rank that we play, it makes a huge.
Dude, I'm telling you, the toxicity never ends, man. Like.
But haven't your like mids asked for you to buy it? Saying, hey support, get me this item.
Nope. No.
It is shareable, right? I'm pretty sure it's shareable.
It is shareable. It is shareable.
I don't think they should make it shareable. It shouldn't be shareable.
Yeah, you buy it and it's yours forever. You can just keep using it also.
Yeah,
Stack on each other.
be selfish. It's exactly the kind of thing I'd expect you to do.
Here's up things.
Anyway, I mean, it's like, it's okay. It's not a huge deal, I think.
Then we have
There are
Hurricane
situations where it could be a huge deal, but you know, overall it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's real situation like Hawk was saying, if you're like stuck in base and then you suddenly like even a level 6, you have sometimes that your supports are even at the 10-minute mark it's not level 6.
Yeah,
and
the
you
only
want
reason
to
is
get
the only time will be like it'll have a huge impact if someone goes from level 5 to 6, to be honest.
Yeah.
So then we have Hurricane Pike, right? Okay. It's a combination of the 4-star, Dragon Lance, and a recipe. It's a combination of that. It's around 4,375. The stats are not much difference that you get, like, in the sense Dragon Lance. Oh wait, it gives 20 agility. Where did the 20 agility come from?
Because the Dragon Lance recipe is changed.
Okay, the Dragon Lance, okay, I So basically, it gets 20 agility, 15 strength, 10 intelligence, plus 4 HP regeneration, 130 attack range on range heroes. Basically, it gives the same stats as the combination of the Dragon Lance and the 4-star. But the important point about this item is it pushes the enemy hero away from you and you get pushed away from him. So it's a good way for support to get away, for example. And we saw a bit of funny videos within the last day and today where people just use the the Hurricane Pike and then TP back to base and attack with the range hero.
Yeah,
Other
but
than-
you know,
I mean,
no support hero is gonna buy this item though. Like it's
This
It's
item,
gonna upgrade to people who have the item, right?
yeah, it's like a late game thing, but to me, this is like, this just screams Draw Ranger.
yeah. This item was made for draw, I think. Like, 'cause
Yeah, like,
you didn't want to get dagger, right? You didn't want to get dagger because you know, like, it could be jumped on and then your dagger is useless.
it's basically another gust.
Yeah, you didn't want to get 4-star because, like, what does 4-star give a draw, right? In terms of stats. But this,
Or in
like,
this
you know,
case, yeah.
20
Yeah,
Good
HG.
strength and agility both.
The thing is, it's this combined with the recipe changes to Dragon Lance is what makes it so good, because look at the stats it provides, right? 4,300 gold, well 4,400 gold basically, 20 agility, 15 strength, 10 intel. If you look at SNY, it's 4,100 gold, gives you 16 agility, 16 strength, quite a bit more damage though, I think 16 more damage and more attack speed. But if you look at the stats wise, it actually gives more stats than SNY. It's actually comparable to SNY in terms of the stats, but obviously it has that additional utility, but it doesn't give movement speed. And something to note, the cooldown is 6 seconds lower than 4-star.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Don't you think like support should be looking to get this item? I still think it's a good upgrade later on.
Yeah, it's good later on, but I think you're gonna be sticking with your 4-star until like, unless the game goes past like 50 minutes.
I think, like, even if you're fully started, because, like, how does a support make use of a Dragon Lance, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you can right click from being further away.
yeah, but
You
I
can
need the
contribute
fancy
without
item to get in
getting-
pub. It's like style points in pub games.
Hurricane Pike, man. I mean, to me, the only hero that can utilize it like to its full potential is probably Draw. That's the only hero I can see. Maybe Enchantress. Maybe
Enchantress, dude. Enchantress and Draw. There's both.
Yeah, Enchantress and Draw, I guess.
Okay, then we have that basically ends all the new items, and then we have the usual items that we already had being changed around. We have the Skull Basher first. Bash damage reduced from 120 to 85. That's a lot of damage being reduced, and then the recipe cost also has been reduced by 250. But the damage reduction is huge, don't you think? Like a lot of damage.
It doesn't
being
actually
reduced.
reduce it that much. Hold on, let me do the math. So it basically reduces the damage per hit by 9.
5 by 9. You're taking
it's
into the armor.
No, I mean because the bash is like 120 into 25%, right? So that's 30 damage. 85 into 25% is 21.25.
Yeah, they didn't reduce the damage from the basher, they removed the proc damage.
Yeah. So the basher
I see,
innately gives 10 damage, I believe. So it was 10 plus an average of 30 per hit from the bash. Now it's 10 plus an average of 21.25 per hit from the bash. But they reduced the recipe cost as well. So it's a slight nerf. I think Basher is still strong as a standalone item. But as you'll see, the Abyssal Blade changes everything.
Okay, so basically Abyssal Blade now requires a Basher and a Vanguard and a recipe on top of that of 1550. And basically it does not provide a lot of damage like it used to, because you used to have the Sacred Relic to get the Abyssal. Now it just provides you 10 damage, whereas it used to give you 70. Of course, now it gives you 15 plus HP regeneration and 150 health, which you get from the Vanguard that you make. I really think, I don't know, man, it's a really bad item on carries now, since you'll have to go for a Vanguard to get Abyssal. I mean, we used to have a lot of carries built into the Abyssal, where it's such a good item to lock heroes down, especially heroes like Anti-Mage, who benefits a lot out of it, since you get the extra damage as well.
I mean,
now it's, I don't know, man.
You have a more frequent lockdown. I mean, with Anti-Mage, all you really care about was the lockdown. It wasn't the damage, like, per se. Like, you just wanted to lock a hero down, right? I think it's still okay on Anti-Mage, because Anti-Mage benefits from the HP, it benefits from the regen, and it's actually like, now I guess the alternative Vanguard would probably be of Vlad's, right? So Vlad's is about 2,350, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2,350, around
2,325. I mean, this could be a substitute to Vlad's. The only thing is it doesn't give you lifesteal. But if but the thing is, yeah.
Okay, so
it makes you tankier.
Yeah, okay, but with the old Abyssal Blade, carries used to be self-sufficient, right? They didn't need a support's help to kill a hero because they had Abyssal Blade to lock them down. But now, apart from Anti-Mage, what other carries would build this?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm definitely not getting it on anyone else. Like,
I mean, even a PA, it's not bad, because like PA is a squishy hero, right? And like the plus HP.
But
yeah, the early Vanguard would be useful.
Yeah, the damage block is not that great, but whatever. But the sustain it gives, like the HP regen and the you know.
It definitely makes Vanguard a more useful item. But I think this now, while they have nerfed it for carries, they've actually made it more appealing to a broader hero
to all the brawlers.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think this would be really good on someone like Centaur, because Centaur has a really long cast time on his stun, right? So you blink in Abyssal Blade because it costs like 75 mana now, and then afterwards you chain it with your stun because Abyssal Blade has no cast time. Even Starlight would be decent on.
Going back to the point where you said that it makes the Vanguard move, I think in the previous patch, we rarely saw Vanguard being made on anyone other than the spec, I guess. But still,
no, like not even
those
spec.
Are
like
I'm not talking about spec pub games at your level. I mean, we had people at around the 3 to 4k average people making Vanguard on spec in the previous patch. It's retarded, I know. But
don't do it, kids. Don't do it, kids.
I'm telling you all, don't get Vanguard on spec.
But yeah, last one is probably like exclusively a bristleback item. And the only hero you think about getting on is bristleback.
And Centaur, I think Centaur.
Centaur would be legit.
Yeah, but Centaur was never played last match.
Yeah, Centaur never get played.
Like when was the last time you saw a Centaur in game?
But this one, I think the buff that he got in this patch, I think Centaur still might come back. We'll wait and see.
It's a buff for sure. I don't know if it's enough for him to come back, but it's a buff.
Yeah,
but Blade Mail being buffed is, I mean, we'll get into that.
Actually, wait, I'll get to the Centaur part when we get to Centaur. But yeah.
Then we have overwhelm mana cost from 150 to 75, cooldown from 60 to 35, and dash damage reduced from basically the same thing that was done to the Star Basher. Then Ether's Lens. I like this nerf because Zeus and all these heroes make Ether Lens was so annoying.
Especially Zeus, like you would notice it a lot on Zeus. It was like so
basically
on Zeus.
I mean basically they just balance it out from the intel gain converted to damage, because now by the time you get Ether Lens you probably have around 15, which is 3%.
Yeah, basically
so it balances it out.
Yeah.
So then we have animal courier, basically a lovely donkey. Respawn time reduced from 120 to
another indirect nerf to bounty hunter.
Yeah, this is a bounty hunter now.
Like
just
couriers, like when there's a bounty on the map, like you're afraid to send the courier past your tier 2 tower.
Because
there's a bounty there for sure.
Because remember, this is a respawn time reduction only for the animal courier, not the flying courier. Flying courier is still 180 seconds.
Yeah.
This can
like
gain a bounty now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because like even Zinada procs on the courier, right? So
Yeah.
he can kill even a flying courier with no problem at all.
Then we have Armlet, which has now grants 5 armor instead of I think previously it used to. Yeah, previously when activated it gives you 5, right?
This is a good buff, but I don't know if it was needed. I mean, I thought Armlet was fine. It was a good item.
Armlet is super cheap now. It's like 2,500 gold.
Yeah.
So let me double check.
Yeah, 950.
But that 5 armor is just so good.
Yeah, now it gives like I was right. Now it gives you 5 armor without having to activate it, right? That's how it works, and then it gives you 10 when you activate it. That's a lot of armor.
Yeah, no, but anyway, it gave you 5 armor without having to activate it because of the helm.
And now it gives you okay.
Yeah, now it gives you 10 armor while active.
Wow,
That's
this
a lot of
is so Armlet is actually 2,320 gold. It's ridiculous, right?
It's super cheap. Yeah.
You're spending 2,300 gold for plus 65 damage on strength heroes, 25 attack speed, 10 armor.
Yeah.
Pretty
good item to get. Then we have Blade Mail. This item has been the talk of a lot of people. It now returns damage before any kind of reduction and returns it in the same type as it is received, and no longer ignores spell immune heroes.
This final change that no longer ignores spell immune enemies, like that just makes Blade Mail the item of the patch. There is no item that's better than this. It's 2,200 gold for ridiculous stats, ignoring the active. The active lasts for 4.5 seconds, has a 13-second cooldown, pierces BKB. It's ridiculous, right? I mean, what? I mean, this is just the death of agility carries or any physical damage carries. Because it doesn't matter if you have BKB, you're going to die. The moment they activate Blade Mail, you can't attack that hero.
Imagine a PA if like this has been like Blade Mail used to be taken a lot by heroes on the other side when a PA is there, and now like even with the BKB you can't jump on a hero if you have Blade Mail.
Yeah.
I mean, think of it, even a late game scenario. You have 5-second BKB. He activates Blade Mail the moment you jump on it. Your entire BKB is just wasted waiting for his Blade Mail to run out. And let's not forget the stats it gives. It gives 10 intel, 22 damage and 6 armor. All for the little cost of 2,200 gold.
Huge, man. I mean, Blade Mail is retardedly strong now.
And I'll talk about the axe buff when you get to axe, but this thing can
actually I know where you're going with it. We'll talk about when we get to axe. So then we have Blood Stone. The initial charges increased from 8 to 12. I don't know. I still think it's a really bad item, even though the charges are increased. What do you think?
It's pretty much a dead item, but
it doesn't change a lot. Then we have Butterfly. Butterfly cooldown reduced from, Flutter cooldown reduced from 35 to 25. Again, I guess, I don't know, you have Facebook, then Butterfly. It doesn't make a huge change.
I think they did this because late game you're gonna have a Bloodthorn thingy, whatever that thing is called, to counter the Butterfly, right? So a small buff, because as you see later on, Butterfly is 100 gold cheap as well, because the Talisman of Evasion is 100 gold less.
Yep.
Then we have Crimson Guard cooldown reduced from 60 to 50, HP regeneration increased by 2. That's because the Vanguard was buffed. We will get into that when we go further down. So
actually, no, the Ring of Health is buffed.
So then Desolator now requires Blight Stone instead of 300 recipe.
Yeah, they're getting rid of recipes.
300, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah, 300, it's the same thing.
So then we have Diffuser Blade. Purge cooldown increased from 0 to 2. Mana burn by melee range illusions also reduced. And on illusions, okay, so that's on illusions. Then on heroes increased from 25 to 40. So Diffuser Blade on PL is not as strong, I guess.
So what they're doing is they're trying to make Diffuser Blade more appealing to a wider spectrum of heroes. So it's not nerfed that much on PL. It's just 25 burn to 20. It's not that much of a nerf. but your main hero gets 15 more. So they're making it more appealing to non-illusion heroes, because earlier it was built on like what, 4 heroes, like EL, Naga maybe,
Spectre. Spectre is gonna be ridiculous with this now. I mean,
but
who cares about agility gain being scrapped?
But I like the cooldown increase from 0 to 2, because sometimes you're just spamming that thing because you want to get it off as soon as possible, but you end up wasting like 5 charges.
Does that happen? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it happens.
But now Diffusal Blade has been consecutively buffed so much that it is the agility hero's armlet now. It's so efficient cost-wise. So for 3,150 gold, it now gives 25. This is just a level 1 Diffusal Blade. Gives 25 agility, 10 intel, 40 burn, which is 100% of the burn is conversion damage. That's plus 40 damage. So in total, it gives, if you look at damage and attack speed, it basically gives an agility hero 65 damage and 25 attack speed for 3,150 gold. That's excluding the fact that it reduces their mana and you have a purge.
Yeah.
All for 3,150 gold. This, in conjunction with the Dragon Lance nerf, just makes mid-game agility heroes, range heroes, so good. This is...
yeah. Then we have Dragon Lance now, which requires an Ogre's Club and 2 bands of Elven Skin instead of an Ogre's Club and a Hotter Staff, which of course changes the stats that you get from...
Better for agility heroes now.
Yeah, it basically makes it better for agility heroes. Other than that, and it's a bit more expensive, 25 gold extra.
It actually lets agility heroes, like, okay, I'm thinking along the lines of Mirana here. You can just not go for power treads for the strength, and you could just get this for the strength, and then get phase on top of this. Because the stats it gives are really good. 15 strength, 15 agility for 100 and 130 attack range for 1,900 gold. I mean, if you buy a Ogre Club and a Blade of Alacrity, that's only 10 of each.
I don't think people ever got treads on Mirana anyway.
Might have gotten it for the HP. Oh, I'm just talking about ranged carries.
Yeah.
It helps them tank up. And it's just really good stats. On Row, this is awesome now. This is what made the Hurricane Pike really good on Row.
The return of Medusa, guys. Watch.
Oh no, but there's a bug.
She's never gonna be back.
Your split arrows don't work from the Dragon Lance range. You have to get to the normal range, and then only your split arrows actually hit.
Oh god, that's dumb.
So your main attack has the added range, but the split arrow attacks only have the base range.
That's so stupid though. I mean,
I know. It's a bug, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then we have Drums of Endurance, another item that was kind of nerfed. It requires a Bracer, Ring of Regeneration, Wind Lance, and a 700 Recipe. So you used to get 9 intelligence, 9 strength, 9 agility, and 3 damage. Now the agility is reduced and the strength is reduced. It's just that the intelligence stays the same. So it's like a really bad item to get on agility and strength category.
No, just agility, I think. I mean, I think it's still okay for like strength heroes that need mana, but
yeah, it's. I mean, basically the gold cost is negligible, but you're trading. So basically, compared to the old drum, you're trading 9 stats, which is a third of your stats, for 3 HP regen.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing, like since we got to drums, I want to go back to that item. What do you call Sabre? Yeah, the Sabre, for example, I'm not sure that this works. Does the illusions also use the Sabre? Does it attack as well?
Ah, that's a good question.
Because, I mean, it would be really good on Spectre, right?
Yeah, that actually would be good. Because imagine with the Desolate, you get 2 quick attacks off. It's actually really good, but you'll only get it, and you get it twice per, because the cooldown is 5. And the haunt duration is what? Minimum 5, 6, 7?
That's like, I think it's a pretty good item on Spec now rather than getting a drum, since it's bad for agility carries. And going for the Sabre, and you can actually proc it, and then when you haunt into that person as well, like then you can do it again, right? So you can get slowed, and when you use on all the heroes on the map will get slowed. So then
I wanted to... Yeah, you're right. But sorry for interrupting. I wanted to know, if you build an Echo Saber on Ember, does he hit twice on each target? Is that a thing? No, there's a cooldown.
You have to actually attack.
Oh, so it's useless on Ember.
Because I actually tried, because I thought that maybe it's PA and you use the dagger and you get a double hit off it.
Oh, 2 daggers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, I mean because what actually happens is when you dagger, the dagger hits for 60 damage, and then after that you can hear a right click afterwards. So I thought it might just right click twice there. I was hoping it would, but it didn't. Unfortunately, so I'm guessing the same applies to Ember because it just triggers a right click.
That would be insane if you got one slide off and you got 2 attacks on every hero. Wait, that applies to slow.
strong.
That applies to slow. Oh my god.
Wow.
They're really broken, man. I don't know.
but
Then we have Yule Scepter now requires a wind lance instead of a Sage Mask.
not that big of a change.
Yeah.
I mean, that is getting rid of recipes. Oh wait, Sage.
This is the Sage
Sage's
Mask.
mask. So that's less regen.
Yeah, less regen.
Wait, but they haven't changed the stats for use, right? So it still has the same mana regen.
That's because
complete
wind lance actually gives mana regen, right?
Yes?
0.
I thought it was just movement speed. Wind lace.
Oh, yeah, sorry, base.
Just movement speed.
Yeah, it's just movement speed. Okay, so stats are the same, but they. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Flying Courier, cost reduce again, cost reduce from 200 to 150, which is really good for supports, I guess. Again, I think overall during the patches that have been coming out, I think support lives have been made easier by each patch that comes out.
Because no one wants support, man.
Yeah,
that's not true. I like supporting. It's more fun.
You need to think about how different it is now, right? Now boots are 400 gold. It used to be 500. Boards are 75 gold. Sorry, 65 now with this patch. It used to be 200. I mean, it used to be 200 as in to buy 2, so it used to be 100 each. The courier, animal courier used to be 180, yeah? Now it's 120. Flying courier used to be 220, now it's 150. TP used to be 135, now it's 50. Like everything is just getting.
Basically, Valve is like helping out.
And people still hate doing it. I can confirm this.
Yeah, I know, man. People still do not carry TPs or buying wards. It's so sad.
I mean, at this point, there is no excuse for you not to buy TP. I mean, like, you want to get a TP, like, from the time you leave the base.
Dude,
It's so cheap.
now I just buy 2 TPs in one go because I always know that I might forget later on to buy another TP, so I always buy TPs in 2s. It's so cheap now, it's 100 gold, 2 TPs.
And it's good because you can ping it to say, like, my TP's not cooldown, dude, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Cooldown, man. Otherwise they won't believe you.
Yeah. Gotta get
Then,
these platforms, man.
so, Gem of True Sight radius reduced from 1100 to 900 again. And buff for Invis heroes, other than that I don't see the application.
I don't know why they're
of it.
buffing Invis heroes, but yeah, whatever.
This would actually be a nerf for who's this? Night Stalker. Because Night Stalker has a much longer vision with the ult, which is I think nighttime vision 1800 frames. So you only have half of the true sight range. So
the vision, the vision disparity that Night Stalker gives is a bit too strong. I think that's why they. Yeah, because they've nerfed the counters to Night Stalker as well, right? They've nerfed the Hawk. So,
yeah, exactly. So now, like, you may think you're safe, but you're not.
Then you have Ghost Scepter. Ghost Form cooldown reduced from 30 to 25.
I don't know if this is gonna be a huge thing, because, like, when are you gonna get a chance to use a Ghost Scepter again?
Twice. I mean, twice in a
but it's still a good buff. I mean, whatever.
To me, this is like, hey guys, Blade Mail is just way better than Ghost Scepter now on supports. But here, Ghost Scepter still exists.
I mean, Ghost Scepter is gonna be even more irrelevant now, just because of how good like Diffuser Blade is. So.
No, just because of how good Blade Mail is.
And Blade Mail and Blade Mail.
Ghost Scepter, they are just
Blade Mail is what, 700 more gold, but the components are cheaper. Highest component 1200.
Soon Viren's gonna be complaining about Blade Mail being OP. He's gonna complain and say, please remove Blade Mail from the game. Please remove Blade Mail from the game.
Whatever.
Viren's just a huge crybaby. It's okay.
Okay.
Anyway.
Then we have Glimmer Cape, mana cost reduced from 110 to 90 doesn't make much of a difference.
I think you needed it because like Glimmer was going a bit out of fashion, you know. People like
I haven't seen him like seeing the item in in games like in tournament
it's
games.
It's because Bounty is so popular, dude. Like Glimmer Cave, there's nothing against Bounty.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't care. The thing.
Then we have Guardian Greaves recipe from it has increased by 50 again. It doesn't make much of a difference. Then you have Heart. Strength bonus increased from 40 to 45. Health bonus reduced from 300 to 150.
But with that Guardian Greave increase, that means Bounty Hunter can't put it like an extra reload. Because he'll be down 50 gold.
Oh god. But with you guys and Bounty, I know it was your favorite hero in the playing the tournaments and all that previously, but then,
dude, Bounty Hunter is the worst hero in Dota, man.
Yeah, I know.
Second verse behind Invoker.
I can attest to that. We had a really bad time in the second game at RLC playing against you guys. So yeah.
I mean, Bounty Hunter, this Bounty Hunter things.
So strong.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Then we have Heavens.
Wait,
no, you missed.
Harder to rest.
That's a huge buff, like.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Because okay, so the health bonus being reduced from 300 to 250 is counted by the increase in HP per strength.
Yeah.
So now it actually gives 1150 HP. It is ridiculous. A lot of HP, boys.
Heart.
Yeah, Heart is, I guess, pretty strong.
I think this is the return. This patch is the return of like Bristleback.
It's the return of strength heroes, man, because the DT carries are no longer relevant thanks to Blade Mail. Seriously, you need HP to survive whatever damage you deal out.
Blade Mail is just too strong now. So Heavens, we have disarm duration on ranged targets increased from 4.5 to 5.5.
I think this is a small buff because, you know, people didn't buy like Heavens already now. So I think they just wanted to...
I still used to buy it. It was a pretty good item on Raze, for example. You can shut down 2 heroes at once.
This is again like another like buff to strength heroes, man. Like this is like the evasion item for strength.
That against agility carries, since most of the agility carries are like range as well.
I really think...
No, okay, that's a mistake basically. Not really, but then still it's really good against Viper, who else? Shooter, Luna, Drow. Yes.
I mean, disarm is best against melee heroes because you know you want to wait till they walk right after the hero, lift their claws up to attack, and then get this.
And the disarm range is not like good, right? I mean, you have to be close to the hero to disarm.
Yeah, true.
But to be honest, I always thought Sanj as an item was very what should I say, undervalued. Because I actually like the triple Sanj build. You build SNY, Heaven's Harbor, and the old chat with the old Silver Edge.
Yeah. Because, and then you don't do anything for the rest of the game.
But it's the best build on Dragon Knight.
I guess.
Hands down. But anyway, because Sanj is so like stat efficient for what it does. But
it gives you a lot of strength, I guess.
Yeah. Into the point, I think people just valued Yasha way more than Sanj. They're sort of like buffing Sanj.
But now since the Yasha got nerfed in the previous patch, right? I prefer getting the Sanj over the Yasha.
Yeah, because people just bought like casual Yashas to farm and just sold it.
Yeah.
It's like an HCT Heroes Midas basically.
Right. Then we have Hood of Defense, removed 1 ring of regen from Hood of Defense, so it basically makes it cheaper. Buff to all the stuff. I mean, against it's a nerf to magic damage heroes.
So Hood of Defense has been consecutively buffed for quite a few patches. This actually makes it cheaper now, well, considerably cheaper. Something that very few people actually know is that Hood actually has an activatable component of it. So you can activate it for 75 mana and it gives you like, you know, a pipe barrier, but only for yourself of 325 magical damage. So it prevents
one
nuke.
People really use it. I knew about this, but I rarely saw people using it.
Yeah, people never use it. Like I see people having Hood to make a pipe, but they never activate it. Even they're getting ganked. I'm like, dude, you know, it's activatable. They're like, oh, when was this? But with that, I think Hood is really cheap now. It's 1,725 gold, and I think
it's way too cheap. But
I think EE bought it right? Or was it who was playing
RTZ.
OD in the RTZ? Yeah, RTZ bought it instead of, because it's actually really good for preventing magic damage if you're not interested in the spell immunity from BKB or and you rather need the protection from magical damage.
Yeah.
So Hood is pretty strong, and I actually think this goes hand in hand with the other buffs to Centaur, which we'll come to later, because it basically negates, with the activatable, it negates the damage you do to yourself with double edge.
True.
And it's cheaper to build magic resistance.
Yeah. I think it's like a dead patch for like a lot of intel heroes won't be picked anymore, and it's more strength hero based patch, I would say. Let's see how it goes like when you get to the other heroes. This is what I felt going through the patch before as well, since magic has been reduced and the agility carries, like you said, it's dead due to the blade mail being there. I think it's a more strength hero
it's a strength patch, guys.
So then we have the Lincoln Sphere, cost reduced from 1325 to 1000. It's pretty good, good buff.
Yeah.
I always thought Lincoln's was way too expensive for what it.
Exactly.
I mean, sure, the activatable was good, but the other stats it gives were mediocre.
Yeah.
It's too expensive. Then we have the Lotus Orb, now requires an energy booster instead of a 900 gold recipe. So it basically takes off a recipe, and it's basically the same cost. Just gives you extra mana and HP regeneration due to the Ring of Health change.
It's yet another buff to strength heroes, strength initiators, because you're gonna want to build Lotus Orb and strength initiators, right? And now it gives you a mana pool to boot as well, in addition to the 10 armor it gives. So it's big buff to strength heroes. Strength initiators.
Then we have Mask of Madness. Mask of Madness active damage amplification reduced from 30% to 25%. So it's basically a small buff, since Mask of Madness became dead after the last patch.
It was definitely needed.
I barely saw one.
Wait,
dead item, I never saw a Mask of Madness.
You'd
Even
see one
like
hero make it, and that's Ursa.
Oh yeah, Ursa was there. But even that also went out of fashion. People like stopped building it on Ursa as well. I don't know, it was a dead item.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's only one hero. Go on.
Medallion of Courage now requires a Blight Stone instead of a recipe, basically again taking out the recipe in that, and giving you the armor minus on attack rather than having it earlier on basically good for the supports again. Then the Observer Award, gold and experience rescale from 50, 100 to 105. And
basically,
it
offsets your cost of sentries, yeah? Offsets the cost of your sentry worth. If you use a sentry. If you're a Filthy Zeus picker, then it's like 3 gold.
Yeah, exactly, because earlier you had to spend 100 gold each sentry, and there's a chance you might get the D-ward off, and if you got the D-ward off, you got half your gold back. Now you get all your gold back.
Now you
and at the same time, if you think about it, previously, if you got the bounty rune and you D-warded an Observer Ward, you had level 2 immediately. At minute 0.
Yes,
now you don't get it. Yeah, now you don't get it anymore because the bounty rune does not do EXP, and EXP from the Observer has also been reduced. And the duration has also been reduced to 6 minutes. So yeah, the vision game, I think the vision has been nerfed a lot in this patch, considering the gem, the tower.
But not really.
Observer.
They've reduced the duration, but they've reduced the cost to go with it, as well as the restock interval. So it's the same overall.
Yep.
So essentially, it's just not changed.
But like as a whole, taking vision game as a whole, I think it's been nerfed since Beastmaster was also nerfed on his mission. So overall,
but you have scan.
You have scan.
Scan now. Then you have Octarines, who no longer provides HP regeneration. Mana regeneration reduced from 100 to 50. So Octarines go nerfed basically.
Like whoever bought Octarines is looking at this now and he's like, oh, it gave HP regen and mana regen. I didn't.
To be honest, that HP regen and mana regen was from the soul booster.
Yeah.
As you can see later on, he's no longer the case.
Yeah, it was. So Perseverance HP regeneration increased from 5 to 6. Again, the Ring of Health upgrade, not that significant. Then we have the pipe of insight, removed pipe of insight barrier stack limit duration. What do you mean by this?
So you know how when you use mech, so if you use mech on a hero, they get buffed for 25 seconds, but they can't receive another mech buff for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. So basically, pipe has the same thing where even though pipe only lasted for 8 or 10 seconds, you couldn't receive another pipe buff for I don't know, a minute or whatever. I can't remember how much it was. So now that's no longer the case. You can have 2 pipes in a team. Immediately after the first pipe runs out, you can activate the next pipe. They've been buffing pipe consecutively for like 10 patches now. I don't know why. I actually thought it was already strong.
And again, I think this is again nerfing all the intel heroes in the game. You can buy multiple pipes on your team just to.
It's just because like
Zeus
and Invoker were so strong, like the
But
patch,
like
right?
they nerfed the 2 heroes, right? I don't get why they have to buff the.
To be fair, like they didn't nerf the hero's damage at all. Like their damage was actually like untouched. So like I think to offset that, they like
damage was nerfed.
Like it was not that much of a nerf. It was hardly a nerf.
His damage wasn't touched actually. Like maybe like what 3%? I don't know.
But whatever nerf you receive from that damage is made up for with the intel increasing damage.
Exactly. And Invoker hasn't lost any damage actually.
Yeah, Invoker actually got more damage this patch.
The starting damage has been like at level 1. It's harder, right?
No, it's the same. They increase his base damage to compensate for the lack of intel. If you're talking about Invoker.
Yeah, okay. Moving on, we have Point Booster. Point Booster health bonus reduced from 200 to 175 and the mana bonus increased. Again, this is good for strength heroes, I guess.
I think it's just to counteract the fact that strength now gives more HP, but int gives less mana.
Yeah.
So now Point Booster gives more mana and less HP. So it
hold on. It gives
less mana than it used to.
Yeah.
1 less. Then we have Refresh Orb. Refresh Orb HP regeneration increased from 10 to 11. This is due to again the Ring of Health change.
I mean, who bought it for the regen, right?
Yeah. Then we have Ring of Aquila, armor reduced from 3 to 2, damage increased from 9 to 10.
Ring of Aquila is such a good item.
I think Ring of Basilisk was so strong for so long that they needed to nerf it.
But
I
now
think it's still gonna be bought though on heroes like Invoker.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have Invoker buying Ring of Aquila, you know it's too strong.
Then we have Basilisk. Of course, the armor again reduced from 3 to 2. Damage bonus increased from 6 to 7. So same story with like the buffs which apply to Ring of Aquila. Then you have the Ring of Health. The regeneration increased from 5 to 6. Not that huge. Ring of Regen cost reduced from 350 to 325. Not that big again. It's yeah. Harpy just stop me if you think it is significant. I really don't think these are significant that much.
Ring of Regen, that just really affects the Hood of Defiance ever so slightly, but Hood of Defiance is only like 1 Ring of Regen now. And I think it's to compensate for the fact that Ring of Health's regen was buffed. Not much you can just go on.
So then you have Rod of Atos, remove the chance True Strike on target. I think again, like we saw a lot of this item on Obsidian Destroy. Other than that, I really don't see anyone else.
A lot of people were wondering why Rod of Atos was nerfed because it was such a weak item. But to be honest, so what Ice Rock was trying to do was he was trying to provide a substitute for Monkey King Bar. Is why he introduced the Silver Red first, and then he added this True Strike component to Rod of Atos. But since people were still not buying Rod of Atos, I think he sort of just gave up on Rod of Atos and just transferred that functionality to the Bloodthorn Scepter. So I think this is just like, you know what, screw Rod of Atos, no one's buying it.
I don't think it will be bought again. And now we have Sign Meme chance increased from 15 to 20. Meme slow reduced, so you basically have a high chance of naming, but the slow is basically reduced.
Yeah, it's more reliable now.
But the slow is actually 10% less than it used to be, right?
For ranged heroes, yeah.
Oh, it's only for range, okay. For melee,
But
it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Sun and Yasha as a whole, it was nerfed. As in the meme slow was nerfed for melee and range. But the chance was increased considerably. To be honest, I mean,
like double the chance.
Yeah, I mean, but who really bought SNY for the slow, right? You generally buy it for the movement speed and the stats.
Yes. Then you have Shadow Amulet, cost has been reduced, not that much, 100 gold doesn't really make a huge difference. Now you have Silver's Edge, which has been changed on how it is made. So it basically requires a Shadow Blade and an ultimate orb instead of a Shadow Blade, the Sanjay and a recipe. So and it can be disassembled as well. So basically it's a good item to still get on Slack, and you can always break down the Silver Edge and then go for Stardy with the ultimate options. You can disassemble it.
I mean,
other than that, the cost is reduced a lot as well.
It's a pretty big buff if you look at it. The cost was reduced by 650, and the trade-off for it, and in addition to the cost being reduced by 650, you get plus 15 to your strength and so to your agility and intel. And that, I mean, it's just an all-round buff. There's nothing it loses off it, and on top of that, it can be disassembled.
Yeah,
it's really strong. Right?
Later on, like we saw later on, a lot of people selling the Shadow Blade and then going for a Blink Dagger, and at this point you can just like break it down and still have the ultimate top and build an item with that and then sell off the Shadow Blade only. So I think it's a really good item to get now. It was always a good item, but this buff is like huge as a whole to the item. And then we have of course backstab damage reduction increased from 40. That's also a buff as well. So not a big buff, but still, yeah, it is a buff. I actually didn't. Oh wait, I actually didn't know it's damage reduction, right?
Yeah, so
I did not know that the backstab did
basically
damage.
after you apply the Silver Edge buff, or the debuff rather, it basically applies break, which removes passives as well as puts a damage reduction on them. Not many, I don't know, people often overlook that part, but yeah, it's actually really good.
I actually didn't know this. I actually didn't know that there was a damage reduction. Yeah. Since I read it again, it just like clicked. There had been a damage reduction on the Silver's Edge. Okay, so it's pretty huge. The item as a whole has got a huge buff there. Then we have Smoke of Deceit. Stop replace time reduced from 12 to 11 minutes. I guess it gives you more time to get better ganking chances since the Smoke of Deceit cools down faster. No longer has a cooldown attached to your.
I mean, it's basically to make up for the scan.
Yeah, yeah, you have to be very lucky to get like a scan off, right? I mean,
yeah, it's only 800 range, right?
Yeah,
wait, hold on. Scan is 800 AoE is for quite large. That means it has a diameter of 1600.
Yeah, but I mean still. Yeah.
Well, what do they mean by this? No longer the cooldown attached to your hero in
earlier if you use the Smoke of Deceit from your hero would have a cooldown. So like if you bought another Smoke of Deceit, you couldn't activate it, but if you gave it to the courier, you could activate it with the courier.
Oh, I see.
It's really weird. It's unnecessary. Yeah.
Then we have the Soul Booster no longer provides HP regeneration. Mana regeneration reduced from 100% to 50%.
I actually thought Soul Booster was a bit too strong with all the buffs. Well, the reduction in cost of the energy booster.
Yeah.
Because it was 3000 gold for quite a lot of HP, mana, and regen as well. I thought just as a standalone.
More than 3000. 3200 actually.
3200, yeah, sorry.
Then you have Talisman Evasion from 1800 1700. Not a huge change, just makes the butterfly cheaper to get.
Yep.
Other than that, not a huge change. Then you have the TP scroll basically. Cost reduced from 75 to 50. That's huge on support. I mean, such a big buff for all the support players. You can just carry TPs, and there is no excuse for you guys for not carrying TPs in it. Even for the carry for that matter.
Yeah, I mean,
but, carry players carry TPs
even for the carry
because they care about their team. So, yeah.
And then you have the Vanguard HP regeneration reduced from 6 to 8. Increase from 6 to 8. Again, the ring of health increase. Not that huge. Veil of Discord now requires Helm of Anvil, 2 Nana Talismans, and a 400 rest rebate. So it used to be
that's
one
a
talisman. Yeah, that's a nerf since the cost has...
Basically overall it's just
reduced.
cost is roughly the same, but less intel. The thing is, Veil of Discord, you'd get it just for the stats. Like, forget it. Like, people used to buy it on Puck. I mean, Puck sure has a few nukes, but her nuking potential, or its nuking potential, isn't that great, and you get it on Puck and still be good. But and another thing, Veil debuff is now dispellable. That needed to happen. I mean, its AoE is so big. Its mana cost is what, 25?
Yeah, Veil.
Again, that is a nerf to all the Intel heroes, I guess. Bad patch for Intel heroes. Then we have Vlad's armor reduced from 5 to 4. Again, this goes back to the Bacillus. Okay, that's basically, that concludes all the items for the patch, I guess. Yeah, that's about it, right? Anything else to add to all, as a whole, to the whole item change? Guys?
I don't think so. I think we'll talk about the items, how they relate to heroes when we talk about each hero, I guess.